Alright guys, let's get ready for the next podcast. We're at the CryptoPunks V1 event in London. I'm with the CryptoPunks here. We're here with Frank, who wrote the CryptoPunk V1 rapper, and a lot of interesting people. Winnie, DJ, and Nino, and they're gonna introduce themselves right now. Let's start with Frank.
So hi, I'm Frank. I wrote a rapper. I wrote a rapper in last year and brought it out on 17th of January this year. And punks are doing good. We love the punks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How's it going? I'm Vinny Kanicki. I'm a NFT artist and a traditional artist as well. More from the sort of traditional aspects of streets, but I'm trying to bring in the analog stuff I'm doing into the digital world, and I'm very happy to be here with all the punks because it's one of the most bomb collections that got kickstarting this whole project thing and making NFTs large. So yeah, happy to be here.
Hey, I'm DJ Choi. I'm a DJ and music producer. I'm also working at Animoca. Launching cool projects. I'm also a full-time DJ, big supporter of the V1. Nice to be here with you guys today. Nino?
Hi, I'm Nino Sip. I was in Ape DAO, one of the known derivative kings, making derivatives with Bored Apes, which we did, and we ended up with 81 apes last year, 81 mutants, and then disbanded the 31.5 million DAO. And then I was introduced by Tony Herrera to the V1 punks. I was very welcome, and we're beginning community engagement and in community projects with Frank over here, and trying to get everyone to be a member of V1s and own their V1s.
Alright, and I'm Bue. I just spoke at the NFT London event. We're just gonna have a chill session here. There's music playing upstairs. So let me just get started with this. You wrote the rapper, what is that?
Well, we have to go back a little bit to the history then of the CryptoPunks.
Okay.
So in 2017, when Larva Labs launched it, it was a free claim. It sold out in I think about a week, something like that. And then people started trading, and there was a bug in the contract. And let's say I'm buying Nino's CryptoPunk here, I would get the CryptoPunk, and I would also get my money back.
Oh, that's crazy.
That was really good. Hemba discovered that exploit, by the way, and he exploited it a few times. That made him also a little bit notorious. And then, how did they solve it? Well, basically, they just deployed the contract again. A copy-paste of the contract. They fixed the bug, and they also added some functionality, which was the bid feature, because the original contract didn't have that. And you can do the compare and ether scan. That's it. Bug fixed, added the bid. And the original contract was forgotten. It was put to sleep, and it did sleep for about 5 years.
Wait, so can I get an interruption here? For the viewers here who don't understand the contract, why could it not be fixed in the first contract?
Contracts are not like normal computer programs. Mm-hmm. So once you deploy it on the Ethereum blockchain, it's immutable.
So you can change it?
You can't change it. Oh. So if you deploy a bug, you deploy the bug, and you will have to live with it.
So now they did the second one.
So they made a second contract, and these are the CryptoPunks. We love to call them the V2s, but these are the CryptoPunks that everybody knows and that are trading at I don't know what at the moment, 65 ETH, something like that. Those are those. And then, I moved in the space about 2 years ago, and in 2021 I did a project, and it was called We Are Dorkies. Okay. And We Are Dorkies is the very first hand-drawn, on-paper PFP project.
Wow.
Really cute. It was done by an artist in New Zealand, and I made the contract, and I made a special art assembly engine for it, because the normal art assembly engines actually couldn't handle all the pencil drawings. And the guy upstairs here, Cyborg, he is one of the biggest whales of dorkies, but he's also a big holder of V1s. And at a certain moment, he came to me and he said, Frank, I don't know how many he had. I have 50 of these V1s, something like that. And can we fix this?
So he wanted to sell it?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fix the bug.
Fix the bug.
But it's also interesting that at that time I think Larva Labs kind of tried to pretend that these V1s don't exist. They kind of
Yeah, but that comes later. That comes later. That comes a lot later in the story.
Jumping the gun.
Yes, that comes a lot later in the story. Well, because at that moment there were not many people in that Discord. There were really only 5 or 6 people in the Discord. Cyborg made a Discord, and we were discussing how we're going to do it, and the background color, the lavender color. We actually had a vote on that. Because
So the background, most people don't know this. So the CryptoPunks, they were transparent when they came out, right?
yes, so if you look at both contracts they have a hash to an image, which is a copy paste. So it's the identical art,
Okay.
and that image has all 10,000 CryptoPunks.
So the V2 and the V1 both have a tag to the background.
To that same image, having all 10,000, 100 by 100 images for each CryptoPunk, and that one is transparent, and that was also meant to be like that, because if you look at the V2, the background is also added in afterwards, depending on the state of the punk. So a punk is just in your wallet, then it has this blue-greenish color, but a punk can be for sale, and it gets a different background color. A punk has a bid, once again gets a different background color. And of course we copied that behavior also into the V1s. And we actually voted on that, but at that moment there were maybe 10 people in that Discord, and we said, okay, we like this one best. And then in the lavender, that one came out as best, because we actually have also this state. If you go to the original marketplace we made, you will also see that if a punk is for sale, he will actually get a pink background. He loses his lavender background and he gets a pink background.
So why did you choose kind of these soft colors? On
The community voted for
the
it.
10 people in the Discord.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the community at that moment. There was just not more than that. And so we had Nidus there, we had Cyborg there, of course, myself, Valinova was there, a few other people were there, and that was it. And then we discussed a lot of things like royalties, color schemes, stuff like that. What we're going to do, because certain things were really important for the rapper and needed to be known up front. Because once you deploy a contract, you have to live with it.
Okay.
Can't launch a successful project with a fuck up on top of a fuck up, can you? You have to counterbalance the fuck up that existed already.
Yes,
You
indeed.
gotta make this shit right.
And now, to answer your question, what is a wrapper? Well, wrapping an object is a very common technique, a very common programming practicing skill. So what do we do when we program? We create an object, and if we want to add functionality to that object, we wrap that object into another object that actually adds functionality. And I use that concept to hide the bug, because my contract sits around the original, like an onion shell. No, it goes sitting around the original contract, and in our case, it exposes then the ERC 721 interface, so they become tradable on OpenSea.
So can you wrap a wrapper?
You can wrap a wrapper into a wrapper and unwrap that into another wrapper. Yes.
But the original NFT hasn't changed.
The original NFT hasn't changed. So the original NFT is, we often call it a modified ERC20, but it's not even really that. It was before all times. Let's call it like that.
Oh, before the 721s.
The CryptoPunks were the inspiration of the 721. But it was after the CryptoPunks came that they say, okay, we have some problems that we want to solve, and from that, basically, the interface of the 721 was devised, which in some cases has even the same method names as what the CryptoPunks have, but in other cases, like for instance, the permission model is something completely new. But the CryptoPunks didn't have that.
Alright.
And so, and thanks to the wrapping, of course, they took off. A lot of people, including yourself, came to the Discord.
Was it February?
17th of January, I released the wrapper. And then, like Vinny said, they got pretty popular. They boosted on OpenSea, and Larva Labs was not happy. And so they started tweeting about it. But yeah, I have like 6K followers on Twitter. If I tweet something, 6,000 people see it. Larva Labs has like 100,000 followers. If they tweet, a lot more people see it. And by tweeting it, basically they were helping us. Because, they tweeted to 100,000 people that then said, these V1s, what is this? What? They were yours. What's happening here? So by tweeting, they actually got us a lot more buyers.
There's an interesting theory about this. So it's called the Streisand Effect, right? So by actually saying to someone, don't talk about something, then you're gathering attention to that thing that you're trying not to promote. So it's quite, it's quite funny, but it worked for you, huh?
It worked very well.
We should have ignored you.
Yes. That was the good thing. And then the second fuck up that they did is, so they had 1,084, I think, in their wallet, in their vault, but also the two developers, they had some in their personal wallets. And one of the two developers decided to actually, these V1s, they're making good money. I'm going to sell mine. So he created a side wallet to stay anonymous, and with that wallet he started wrapping them and started selling them. And so he sold 39 CryptoPunks for, on average, 260 each, something like that. About, I don't know the exact number, but 260 each, something like that. But of course he got caught.
You caught him?
No, I didn't call him. The community called him because people were very interested in seeing who is rapping. We are still interested right now. There is somebody rapping right now. Somebody popped up, started rapping new punks, and people are interested and people go research this. Who is this wallet? Where is it coming from? And of course he got caught because the blockchain doesn't lie, and you can't cover your trace. There is no tornado cash for NFTs. So if an NFT gets transferred from one wallet to another, you can perfectly follow that. Of course he got caught. He got called out on Twitter. And then at that moment, Larva Labs made a new tweet. And they said, we're sorry, we shouldn't have done that. And you know what? We're going to donate 210 ETH to the rainforest.
Rainforest ones.
And so the rainforest punks were born. Because we have now 39 of our CryptoPunks, V1 CryptoPunks, that we actually call the rainforest punks.
They were, the money was actually donated.
It was for real donated.
Yeah, cheers to that. You made a good cause happen.
Yes, but there was a discrepancy, and I don't know what happened.
They were going to buy V2s as well, or they're going to sell those.
Meebits, I think they were going to buy with a profit, but I don't think they ever did that. By tweeting that, there comes the Streisand Effect again, because they were tweeting from their massive account, and a lot of people said, what the fuck, what is happening here? What is happening here? So more buyers came in, and the volume really peaked. And then Larva Labs said, we have to kill this. And so they DMCA'd us. And OpenSea has to react to that.
What is that, sorry?
A DMCA.
Yeah.
So basically, they said it's a copyright violation.
Oh, I see, okay.
Was it against you or?
Against the rapper.
Against
which
the
is basically
rapper.
created by me, but I got a mail from OpenSea. You get the DMCAs, we taking it out.
So with the purchase of the punks, they didn't offer you IP as well, no?
No. You get nothing.
I see, okay.
And OpenSea takes them down. Of course, they say tradable or looks rare on the other marketplaces because they don't give a shit. But OpenSea, they follow the rules. They took them down. So we hired some hotshot lawyer from the States, and he looked at it, and the guy was like, "You can't DMCA your own art." he wrote a whole paper. He also wrote a whole paper about it. The paper costs quite a lot of money, and we counter DMCA'd.
Okay.
And then basically they have 2 weeks that OpenSea will wait, and then they will list you again. In those 2 weeks, Yuga Labs bought the CryptoPunks.
Yeah, they
And
bought
the
Larva
Meebits.
Labs, right?
Yeah, they didn't buy Larva Labs. They bought the CryptoPunks and they bought the Meebits.
Okay.
They didn't bought, for instance, the autoglyphs. And Larva Labs relatively quickly also said, yeah, but we're not going to pursue this DMCA. We don't care. And OpenSea listed us again. So we were back. But of course, we were away for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, something like that. Because, yeah, you have to do the stuff with the lawyer, you have to write the letter. And there is also, this grace period, because when you send the letter to OpenSea, because you don't send it to Larva Labs, you send it to OpenSea, they then have to inform Larva Labs. Okay, they don't agree, and they get 2 weeks to sue you.
Okay.
And if they don't sue you in those 2 weeks, they just put them back.
Okay.
And that is what happened. Larva Labs did buy them. We did go into, because many of us are also holders of apes and so on. We went to the mods and we said, well, what's happening? Well, and they very quickly they said, Larva Labs is not, Yuga is not going to continue with this. It's over.
When you mean they said it, do you mean as a tweet or like an email, or they emailed you?
No, just in the Discord. It just started in the Discord.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
But we got relisted and we're trading again. So now we're, I don't know, 6 months further down the road, something like that. And CryptoPunks are doing well.
Okay. But, okay, I have a question though. So, I mean, you took all this effort, right? I bet you even hired a lawyer, I guess.
And I'm not hired a lawyer. I didn't pay the lawyer. I'm a paid lawyer.
So, now tell us, so we talked about the rapper that's rapping the original ERC20.
Yes.
Right? And then why are you so passionate about it?
Well, I'm always trying to...
And you use the word we a lot, so...
Yeah, but it is a community effort, I was not alone. I'm the engineer. I made it. Yeah, but I was not alone. There were 10 other people in the Discord. The guy that took the initiative was Cyborg here upstairs. I was playing DJ now. Yeah, he took the initiative and I won't say he hired me, but he contacted me and he made me do it. And I love to do things that haven't been done yet. That's in my engineer blood. So making this wrapper was an interesting challenge. Mm-hmm. I also found out that there were actually 2 people before me that actually tried to make a wrapper. The first guy, he didn't succeed at all. I found the contract. The mistake on top of the mistake,
He did that.
He did that.
Someone already got that out of the way, yeah.
He got that out of the way. It was not showing in yard, and nobody's trading it, of course, and it was that. And that was the wrapper of foobar. And my wrapper is actually based on the wrapper of foobar, but I added some more code to make the marketplace more efficient, basically. But what foobar didn't really do is build community. He just made the wrapper for the technical challenge and said, okay, it's out there and do it. But he didn't create community. And the 10 people where I was with in the Discord, including myself, we were not really happy with the foobar wrapper. Because he changed the art. He did put this ribbon on the side, this red ribbon.
There was a ribbon.
That red ribbon on the side, and also the way he did the metadata and the trace. We weren't really happy with that, and so that's why we made a new one. The new one is the one that you know now.
Who are you guys to say that you don't like it and then just change it? You know what I mean? There's a guy there. Okay. So you just didn't like it?
Yeah, no. Well,
because it changed the art, you mean?
It changed the art, and we really had a problem with that, because it's that red ribbon. Yeah, it was so really deep in your face. That red ribbon on the corner.
It's hard as a PFP, huh?
Yeah, probably also, and we even changed that ribbon to a different ribbon and see what does it give. We made really some concept art around it, like we can do this, we can do that, and in the end we said, you know what, we're just going to deploy it as the art is. We are not going to change anything on the art. And I think that was a good decision, because that would give power to Larva Labs to actually DMCA it. because it will become some kind of derivative that is almost identical. Now we just use their art.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think that especially from an artistic point of view, if certain images are preloaded with a lot of context as well, yeah. So like if you're adding something to already something that's quite minimal, especially something like a ribbon implies it means something, you know. So that's very detracting from what the original thing is. And just by adding something else to something that's already quite minimal, you're almost multiplying the amount of visual scope there is on the image. So I think that's totally transmuting into something else. Over here with a good example like Piet Mondrian, like this piece here is not doing the same effect the other one is, because it's giving a lot more detail and texture and so forth, isn't it? So like it's the same thing with a punk. I think you need to keep it pure to keep its identity and its strength in its design, I think. You know?
It is only.
I think that was a very good shout. Like to have a ribbon would look awful. I think It is only 24 by 24 pixels. Right.
And actually putting the ribbon on it, it would break that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because at that moment it would not be a 24 by 24 pixel artwork.
Yeah.
It would be. I think we deployed on 800 something, but of course the ribbon, it doesn't follow the pixelated effect. It would be sharp lines.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a sharp line ribbon, not even pixel.
No, it was not.
You wouldn't be able to do that. If 24 pixels, that would be impossible to do a ribbon.
The 24 pixels, you can't do a lot. No, because I
1, 2, 3.
It looked more like a Space Invader slug or something.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so to recap, you said putting the ribbon would have made it a derivative.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, that's interesting. So, what do you think? What's the next step for the CryptoPunks V1?
But I think that our most important step now is to get a word out. You know, there are still too many people that don't know the story. I've heard recently that some people think that the V1s were created by the Funks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so, where the hell is that coming from? You know? And there's so much misinformation, and we have to get the story straight. And getting the story straight is really our priority at this moment. Because getting the story straight, it will show people what they really are. They are not a derivative. They were not made by some other company or organization. They were made by Larva Labs. They were the first.
And they were first minted. They weren't airdropped. So V2s were airdropped, but V1s were actually the first ones minted.
Yes.
Minted on the blockchain.
because they made the mistake. So they let people claim them for free. It took about a week something, and then the marketplace kicked in, and they said, "Oh fuck, yeah, it's broken." And what they did to correct it, because some V1s got exploited. I don't want to use the word stolen. I want to use the word exploited. It's quite important. And they wanted to fix that too. So what they did is basically they pulled the report. So who were the original claimers? What did they claim? And they airdropped all 10,000 to those people. And if you would do that now, that would cost you a fortune, because ETH is high and gas is high and all those things. But at that time, ETH was not worth that much. And gas was something close to nothing, because the Ethereum blockchain also didn't have that many contracts running on it and didn't have that many transactions. So it didn't really cost them that much. If you would do that now, you would really say, oh fuck, airdropping 10,000 tokens. Oh, what are we going to do? That would have not been funny. But in those times, that was okay. So indeed, the V2s were airdropped.
Okay. And Yuga Labs has a lot of V1 punks in the world now.
Well, they actually have 1,084 in unwrapped condition, and they have one that is wrapped in my wrapper.
Really?
Yes, because when the developer started selling the rainforest punks, he had one unsold one.
Okay, so that transferred over.
And it transferred also over to Yuga, and he already wrapped it. And he didn't unwrap it, so it's in the vault now. You can go. It's a Genosis vault, so you can go to the Genosis vault and you can look inside it, and you will see there is one wrapped V1, which I'm pretty proud of. I can actually say I have something. Not many people can say that. I have actually something that I made that is sitting in the Yuga vault.
It's a bit like you've made a Trojan horse that's got into a Trojan horse.
No, it's not a Trojan. It's not a Trojan horse. It's not a Trojan. There's no malicious code in there.
Cool.
But it is sitting
Oh,
there.
here he is,
So you're not.
Mr. Cyborg himself.
Hey,
We've
say
been
hi
talking
to
a lot
the
about
camera.
that.
Here's Russ.
Be good for you to introduce yourself, man.
Hi, my name's Cyborg, and I've been an alcoholic.
Picks up some napkins and goes out.
Hey, Cyborg. Do you want to swap places? Because I really think that you might want to contribute to this discussion, man.
Okay.
Yeah. You can sit here. I can take them too.
No, it's just playing in the background. Okay, what are we doing?
How did you find Frank?
How did I find Frank?
What decided? What
This is
decided-
almost becoming the unofficial documentary of V1.
Unofficial. Okay, so
What made you think that something could be done about getting those V1s back? What came to you? Did you think there must be some kind of...
Okay, I'll be honest, yeah, because I was there when there was the theft and the drop. From day one, I was like, yeah, but these are the originals, right? And then I ended up selling mine in 2018.
What do you mean mine? V1 or V2?
V2s.
Okay.
So I claimed 83 of them, and then come 2018, I lost my job. I was made redundant, and I had that 3 weeks after my son was born, so I had to like sell everything basically, including gold and silver, not just crypto. And then back last year when they were going for millions and people were buying them, I was thinking to myself, but did people realise that the story of CryptoPunks, did people realise that they're spending millions on a second edition? So I've been thinking about that, having slight little discussions with Meteor and Villanova about the V1s and how the V2s are doing really well. But mainly I thought to myself, it's not fair. I know these people are rich. If you're spending millions on a JPEG, you've got to have a lot of money, but I still think it's not fair that people were spending all this money on something they think is one thing when it's not. I would be pissed. We were talking. I at the time had bought a lot of Dorkies, which is Frank's project. Like a huge amount of Dorkies. I got 200 of these Dorkies because I came across them on this investors group that I was a part of that I owned at NFT, and it just turned out to be garbage. Yeah, so Hey,
Secret meeting.
hold on. Okay, so I had all these Dorkies. I was quite involved with.
You know the door's open upstairs, yeah?
Is it?
Yeah. We just walked in.
Oh, okay.
I didn't spawn like last time.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Just
don't
fit
make
in
it
somewhere. Yeah, just fit in somewhere. We're doing a live podcast right now.
Talking about CryptoPunks
But
V1.
Hi,
we
people.
recorded, so
Welcome, Martin and.
You are on the best podcast in London and the world.
So yeah, I've got these Dorkies, and I was talking to Meteor and Lenovo about the CryptoPunks. So I'd got her in a group chat, and then I started speaking to Frank about we met because you used to owe me a smart contract actually. So I was getting this is way before I had this gallery, so I needed a smart contract for the gallery, and I asked Frank to do it, and we were talking about what I wanted. We were testing some stuff in one of these in the smart contract that Frank was building for me, and in that there was a conversation about the V1. So I spoke to Frank and sort of said, did you know this? And I told him the story, and he literally went away he went quiet, he went away for a few hours. And then he came back and he's like, right, the words were literally right, that's my Christmas holiday done. And he was like, this is what I'm going to be doing over Christmas. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. So he obviously built this the smart contract. But what I realised when speaking to Villanova and Meteor, a few months prior or a few weeks prior, I noticed that there had been these attempts, and what I also noticed was that I didn't know about these attempts, and I was part of the CryptoPunks community at one point, but I'm quite heavily involved in NFTs. Why didn't I know about these, right? So then I realised that you've got people that are making these contracts, but they're not building any communities around it. I think you need to, if you're going to do something like that, you need to build a community. So I set up this Discord. I created an NFT that would give you access to the Discord. We were calling it Classic Punks at the time as well.
Yes.
So I gave
I'm going to send you one.
I sent Frank a bunch of these things. Oh no, you bought one, didn't you? You actually bought one.
Did I buy one?
Yeah, for 0.01.
I don't know. You sent me 50 afterwards, so sure.
Yeah. So they I set up these things, and then the story pretty much unfolds from there. So Frank made the smart contracts, got Simon and FCC in, and Irish Girl. So what we did is we kind of slowly got people in, and we started, because I didn't want it to grow too big too quick. I wanted to get the right people in, because if you get too many people in too quick, there's a lot of noise, right? So I was cherry picking, like
a lot of noise already.
Like foobar, for instance, is somebody that we approached. We asked him to come on board, but he was just for some reason not having it. Okay, that's down to him. We invited him. We wanted his opinion, but he, I've got my contract. Yeah, where's your contract now? Do you know what I mean?
Do you guys know each other in real life?
No.
Oh, this is like our first time meeting here, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, alright.
None of you are foobar, right? Okay.
No one knows.
Yeah,
He's pretty quiet, maybe. He's pretty quiet.
No, but at the end of the day, we gave him this opportunity. I said, look, we're doing something, and the difference is we're building a community around it, and I think that's where we've succeeded, is because we gradually got people in, and then there was a point where Leonidas was involved really early, wasn't he?
He was one of the first in the Discord.
Yeah, he was one of the first.
I said at that moment, I don't know. First we were only 5, and then I think we were about 10 people in the Discord, and we were building software, and we were voting on the colors, and we were discussing royalties and stuff like that. And Leonidas, he was writing articles this big on why we should do something and why we should not do something else, and we were really working and building. That was that Discord at that moment. There was no public. We were really working.
Yeah. It was very small. We had like sort of 20 odd people in there, and then we sort of started trying to reach out to more punk owners. We got obviously Hemba in there because his story is amazing. The fact that you've got this story and he's quite happy to share it as well, which I think is brilliant. So try to get punk owners in, getting more people to rap them, getting a story out there, because it is a story.
Yes.
It's a historical story. It will be seen as something historical. So I think the truth just needs to be there for people to make their own decisions of whether they support V1, support V2, each to their own. But I still, to this day, believe that if anyone buys a V1, thinking that that's the original NFT or the first PFP project, it's not, and people need to know that. So the element of truth is I think very strong with the story, and of course there's financial gain for some V1s. But I decided from very early on that I wouldn't personally hold on to all of mine. I wouldn't hold on to all 83 because I realised that the V2s are inaccessible to people, right? So we wanted lots of new people that have seen that the V2 succeed. So I started selling them quite low in sort of increments going up. And there's like a few people that I sold some, for like 1 ETH that sold them for 30. Some of these guys in India have had their lives completely changed. And it's that sort of thing that, although I didn't purposely do it, that's one of the benefits of trying to be, I was kind of like the market maker at the time. I think with the V1s, but I made that decision of, I missed out on money the first time, but this time I'll be happy with what I can get if I can also help onboard other people as well. Because everyone deserves a CryptoPunk. It's a shame there's only 20,000 of them. So that's pretty much.
So scarce.
Yeah. Let me just check. No one's robbing the place upstairs.
And we're seeing the V2s now trying to obtain their V1s as well now. So that duo, having both of them, is very important now, I think. And that's why I got into the V1 Discord, because Tony Herrera's got like 40 V1s and it's about 60 CryptoPunks that we know about.
That we know about.
And he sold to my good friend Jeremy Penn, who was wanting to get this V2 punk, and he said, Tony Herrera said, I absolutely have to have the V1. If he sells me the V2, I have to have the V1 that goes with it, because there's this story behind it. And that's how I ended up in the V1 Discord myself. It was just so welcoming. Everyone was like, you go into the V2 Discord, it's like You know?
We weren't. we were banned very quickly, like, so we never had access to it.
If you say V1, you're banned.
Yeah.
You
So,
can't even say one.
so I don't even think I did anything. I think they just worked out who we all were and just did us based on.
Everyone is like, I want the absolute. So there's no.
I'm actually rocking my DGP in the V2 Discord as well.
Yeah, DJP is the day job punks that, you know, Frank stuff. What we've done, you know, these day job V1s that have, you know, fast food. During the bear market, they have fast food jobs now. Now they're kind of like having to go McDonald's and various other restaurants. But what we did as a community, we sold them and we bought an actual V1. So we've got a V1 that's shared amongst everyone. So if anyone new coming into the community just want to buy one for like, I don't think it's about $20, is it? $30?
Yes.
They own a piece of the very first crypto.
And we're going for a pair.
We are going for a pair.
So the V1 that we did buy is one of Tony's. Nino fixed that.
Negotiated
we negotiated with Tony. He will hold on to the V2 until we have enough money, and then we will buy the V2. And so the V1 and the V2 will go together in a vault, and will be then, let's call it fractionalized. But I don't think we have to discuss it. We don't know it yet. I don't know if there will be a token or something like that. But basically, everybody will be co-holder of that full pair.
What about an NFT certificate?
Yes, something like that. We can do that. We can definitely do that. And so everybody will be co-holder. And that's So we made the DGP with 4 people that were admins, mods of the V1, and it's a lovely idea. It's a good idea, but we really had problems executing it, and that's when Nino came in, and he's giving us so many ideas that we can't keep up implementing them.
Like I say, I was known for like derivatives because I used to, all the Bored Ape derivatives that were coming through, I kept a list of what artists doing and brought all the artists together that was on the scene before Mutants came about. And you know, one ended up selling for like 21.38 ETH by I'm Complex. He was the guy behind OnlyForce. And he did that just as OnlyForce came out. And then when obviously Mutants came out, a lot of the derivative scene got kind of left behind. People using those. Yeah. So I thought, alright, can we do that with punks now? See what kind of derivatives are coming out, especially now with the commercial rights that V2s have been granted, but people have been doing it anyway. It's not something really you can copyright the punks. So artists are still going to be artists. It's just getting people in. Then if there's something like a V1 that everyone can hold, it's more easier for them to do that.
There's a bit of history that they've got there as well.
Well, like guardians almost of the trying to be the guardians of it.
But the nice thing is also the floor price is going between 4 and 5.
Hold on.
It is actually it's very easy for people to step in. If you have to buy a V2, you have to put down 65 ETH, something like that right now. Yeah, that is a lot of money. That is really a lot of money, and then even depending on where in the world that you're living. I don't know. Here in London, that's half a house. With you guys, it's probably half a village. You know, it's really a ton of money.
Yeah. And then if a V2 really wants the one that say you hold, the V1, they're coming in with all these bags and they can offer you a better deal. So we're hoping that one day that becomes like a way that V2s will come talk to V1, say I really want to get that, or we help people get the pair as well that want to hold both of them.
We have now one of the holders of the V1s. He created this pair finder.
Yes.
And it's really cool piece of software.
Pairfinder.com.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, you can actually say, I have these in my wallet, and I'm looking who are the V2 owners or the V1 owners, so depending on what you have. Okay. And so you can go looking for your pair, and you can and it automatically also tells you, but it's on sale on the marketplace, so you can buy it. And
it's a Tinder for punks.
Yeah.
A Tinder for punks. Thank you. Yes, that's cool. That's cool. Yes, indeed. And that's a really cool tool, and it works pretty well.
And some of the V1 punks have been, some V2 holders have lost their keys, they've lost their hard wallets, so they're going to be lost forever. So they won't be able to claim the V1. So there's only, how many do you think, Frank, will be actually V1s will get to? It won't be 10,000, will it?
No. It's not going to be 10,000. My estimate is relatively stable, and I say we're going to end up somewhere between 5 and 6K.
Total V1.
Total V1s, yes.
So V1s are going to be rarer in a sense.
Yeah. Anyhow, there are already 1,000 that are gone into the Yuga vault.
Yeah.
I had a call with Yuga and with Noah, but who works for Yuga, and he said, we're not going to do anything. They're in our vault and they're going to stay in our vault. So
Infinitely in a vault.
yeah,
No one
but it was just
Until they said
it was just a conf call between the two of us.
So we start wrapping it.
Yeah. So if you could decide to sell it one day to another company, that company could say, no, this is immutable. This is the actual blockchain. And these are
It can happen. It can happen.
change like that.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be a place for
definitely.
both. Yeah.
We don't know. But if we look at short and midterm, those 1,084 are not going to move. And then we analyzed a lot in those first days. I wrote all kinds of scripts that were analyzing wallets and looking. And there are wallets that actually claimed V1s, got the V2s airdropped, and they never ever moved again. 0 transactions since 2017. So we can imagine that those are lost. They lost their keys or they forgot about it or whatever.
Well, there's got to be a couple of dead people.
Yeah.
Nice cheery tone. Yeah.
No, but that also, they're lost, and we know some are burned. Some V2s got burned, some V1s got burned. So those are also lost.
How did they get burned?
Yeah, why would anyone do that?
I
Yeah.
think someone did it live on Twitter. Actually, I can't remember his
But that
name.
was an ape, no?
No,
The
was-
that was Taylor.
Taylor, yeah.
Taylor. I was.
Shout out to Taylor.
Tell them what the fucking is king.
So that's how I first got into
New York.
through Taylor's Discord with the floppy disk access. So what it did, it gives you access to the Dropbox, so everyone in the community could use any of the apes for derivatives or whatever, which is similar to what we might do with the V1. If it does get commercial rights, even if it doesn't, they can use it as they want. But from there, I think from Taylor's input, there was someone else that done it with a punk. I can't remember. They did it. Punk said, "Oh, I'm so good, like I can just burn a punk V2 one." And they
Actually,
did it like that.
recently, the marketplace, the legacy marketplace, the original one, stopped working. It just stopped working. So what's happening here? I called Simon. Simon, what's happening here? That doesn't work anymore. So we went in, and the legacy marketplace, it consists out of 2 contracts. It is the marketplace contract, which is basically a copy paste of the marketplace of the V2s. And there is a secondary contract, which is the marketplace helper. And we made that one to make the site more fast, because else you have to do a lot of calls to the marketplace contract all the time, and all these calls go over the network and makes things. And so if 2 contracts live together in the same EVM, they can make these calls a lot rapper, a lot faster. So this helper contract basically aggregates data for the website. And we found out that marketplace helper wasn't working anymore. How the fuck? The contract doesn't have any write methods. It's only read. So we started to dig deeper. What did we find out? Is somebody actually burned a wrapped V1, send it to the 0 address, and that broke the marketplace helper. So I have to yes, because there was no check, because we're doing all these data aggregation, and we just said, okay, we are getting in a list of IDs, and get me all the details of all these IDs aggregated into one big blob of data, and please send it back. But the wrapper is an ERC 721, and if you ask data about an ERC 721 who is at a 0 address, it will actually throw you an exception. And I didn't foresee that. I was stupid. I can make my mistakes too. And the marketplace helper said, "Oh, I'm getting an exception. I quit." And so somebody actually burned a wrapped V1, and that had to happen between 17 January and now, because the wrapper didn't exist before that. So I wrote a new marketplace helper, by the way, that did do the check that it was not at the 0 address. But that was interesting.
That's cool.
They could have checked both the burn wallet and the contract itself, right? Two of them, or it doesn't work like that. It checks only one contract.
It just asks. At a certain moment, we just ask who's the owner of this.
Yeah.
And the ERC 721, if the owner is 0, it says this token doesn't exist. It throws you an exception. It says this token does not exist. And the marketplace helper couldn't handle that because it wasn't foreseen in the code that an exception would come back. But it was an easy quick fix. But yeah.
And the V2 marketplace has got its own problem, isn't it, with the bidding?
Yes, but that is something else.
Bug, yeah.
You can actually by putting a transaction at higher gas, you can put yourself in front.
Yeah. So if I promise to sell you my V2,
Okay.
it's all done, but Frank last minute puts in a bid that's higher, even though we've agreed and I've pressed sell to you, it all go to Frank.
Yeah.
That's the bug that they've got.
Can you get the information that it's being sold to me to put in the higher price?
You can automate that. You can actually automate that. You can write programs that monitor the blockchain constantly and are looking for these kind of things. We also see that just on OpenSea. You also see that if you now make a bid.
Higher than the sell price.
Yes, higher than the sell price. A bot will just buy it, and it will accept the bid. And it's not the same bug, but it's a little bit similar in what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean it's a good session. I thought it was gonna be 20-minute talk with Frank, but we turned out like I like this. I mean we're gonna watch this video after 10-20 years and see what these guys were talking about. Yeah, and let's keep going. I mean it's free. Whatever you guys have on your mind.
It's really cool. I wonder whether you spoke about it or not, but basically when I first heard about the V1 punks, to me it looked like I was just so paranoid at that point because I was getting 20 Discord messages a day, and there's this V1 CryptoPunks, and it was I think you sent it to me. So then I picked up the phone like, hey Sam, what's going on? He's like, oh well, let me tell you the story. We're so excited. We're just going into it, and I was like, okay, so it's for real. But then by that time it was I think 8 Ethereum already. Yeah. So I was already priced out. I was like, I wish I could. Because the CryptoPunks really attracted me in the first place. There was when I got into the space that there were just the CryptoPunks with the kitties. There's nothing else. Then the Bored Ape Yacht Club. But what I want to know, I don't know if you spoke about it. Yeah, but how did you find out about the bug and how did this is what is my mystery. Yeah, I don't know if it was you or I don't need to know who, but how did you find out that there's a bug and how did you find out how to fix it? Did you speak about it already?
I can tell you why they didn't know about it even.
Okay, well,
that's an interesting one.
I want to know.
So when they tested the contract, because I always thought they didn't test the contract. They did test the contract. But what they were doing? Say, hey Sam, I'm going to buy yours, 1 Ethereum. Because in those days Ethereum wasn't worth anything. Oh yeah, Sam, I'll buy it back, 1 Ethereum. Okay, you'll buy it back, 1 Ethereum. And when they then hit the withdraw, they both got a nice even number. But they were getting their own money back.
I didn't
realize that they were getting their own money back because they were doing this peer testing.
Yeah.
They didn't realize that they were getting their own money back. So they actually tested it, but they didn't realize that it was that. And how was it discovered in real life afterwards? Well, that was Hemba. Because he was trading them, and at a certain moment he said, I sold quite a lot and I bought quite a lot, but the contract is keeping your money. But there is this withdraw function, and so he pulled the withdraw function, and then he realized, but I'm getting too much. There's something wrong.
A little bit. So, what did you do? What do you mean when you say you pulled the withdraw function? Do you have to do it as an engineer, or anybody could do it?
Anybody could do it. Anybody could do it.
On the website?
On the contract.
No, on the contract.
On the contract.
I did 35 projects now, something like that. 4 PFP projects. With yours, and all these contracts, they have a withdraw function, because when you buy these NFTs, when you mint these NFTs, yeah, you're sending money to it. You want a DGP, you have to pay 0.0165.
Yeah.
That money, it doesn't get sent to us, to the creators. It stays in the contract. The contract is a vault on its own, a wallet on its own.
And then sends after you withdraw.
And then if you call that withdrawal method, it will actually send you the money. And the method on the CryptoPunks contract was very similar. It also had this withdraw function, but internally it kept track. Ruvain, he needs to get 3 ETH, Nino needs to get 4 ETH, Frank needs to get 5 ETH, but that math was wrong. That was the bug.
Okay.
And so if you would withdraw, it would just look how much are you going to get.
Isn't it? The order of 2 lines were
Yes.
in the wrong position. Yeah, something as simple as
Yes, it was super simple. It was really super simple. And what they basically did is, if you buy one, what you do is you transfer ownership. Yeah, and they put the line. The owner gets the money after they change the ownership. Well, it should be above. It was no more than that. Because they say, send the money to the original owner, but they already changed the ownership, and
So they had quite a lot of cock-ups, right? Because the V1 Punks is the original one that didn't go through or something.
Yes.
Then they created the V2, and the V2 was so that if you sell it, you actually how was it? You send it to someone, and you get the person who paid for it ends up with the money and the.
No, that's the V1. That's the V1. That's the V1.
All right.
That's the V1. No, the V2s. That's why they created the V2s.
V2s are a straight copy. They're a copy.
So V1 did this.
Yes, V1.
And then V2 was the create. Okay,
Basically, what they did is they copy pasted the contract again. They fixed the bug
And put a marketplace in there or something.
So the marketplace was already there, but they added the bid function. They added the bid function. That's what they did, because the bid function wasn't there in the V1s. You could just buy and sell, and that was it. We couldn't bid. And in those 3 weeks they had some more time, so they actually also added that bid function, which is a very cool function. But it works, of course, on real ETH. No, it's not like a bid function on OpenSea where you say, okay, I want to bid 5 wet for this. Because the wet stays. I can bid 5 wet on 15. I only have 5 wet, but I can bid 5 wet on 15 NFTs.
Whichever hits first.
And whoever hits first will get the 5 wet. With CryptoPunks, you can't do that. You have to put 5 ETH for each one that you bid. And the ETH is out of your wallet, out of your personal. It goes into the contract, because the contract, it acts as a vault, and so it keeps all that money there until somebody accepts the bid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then they have to withdraw it, don't they?
They have to call that withdraw function. Then they accept the bid, and that is something I changed in my marketplace.
Okay.
The marketplace basically works the same, but I don't have a withdraw function. Because when you buy it, it will automatically send the money to the right person from in the same transaction, like OpenSea does. You say, I accept the bid, okay, tuk, punk goes there, money goes there, everybody's happy. So the contract isn't acting, it's acting less as a vault, because it still has all the bits. But if all bits would get accepted, the contract would be empty. While with the original marketplace, the one that Larva Labs made, all the ETH would still be there, and somebody had to come and call that withdraw function. Yes.
So let's bring it back to the simple things, I guess. Let's say there's a person on YouTube right now, and they're like, I want to hear what these guys are talking about, these random guys, and then they get into the story, right? They're interested in NFTs. Do you think, is it like too complex what we're talking about to get them to understand this? Or how do we break it down to a simple level that somebody can understand?
I think we can say, look, there was a problem in 2017. They were forgotten. They were slept upon for almost 5 years. And then in 2021, we fixed the bug, and they're tradable again now. And if you want a real history, because we are leaving out a lot of detail here. If you want a real history and you want all the spicy details, you come to the Discord. You will find all the documents, because we documented it all the way. Because we get a lot of people in the Discord that are asking questions, and people thinking that the thugs made them and that we're scammers, and we get all these questions. So we really documented it completely out with evidence from the blockchain, evidence with tweets, everything you can imagine is there in Discord. So if you want to do your research, come to the Discord and come read it. If you don't like it, you can leave the Discord again. That's not a problem. If you like it, buy one.
You say evidence, so you're trying to say that it's not just like random guys sitting there trying to like a Shilla Rug project. It's like evidenced on the blockchain what we're talking about.
Yes.
And the creators themselves even discussing it.
When, for instance, when the bug was discovered, they also did their YouTube session explaining the bug. It was on some conference, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But we've salvaged those YouTube videos, and you will find those YouTube videos, and you can see the original developers saying, "Yeah, sorry, we made a mistake, and we're going to solve it like this." And they actually did think of making a wrapper themselves.
But they didn't.
But they didn't. They showed
Controversial at the time, wasn't it? They said it was a controversial move to do the airdrop.
We wouldn't be here now if they did, though. That's for that I know.
Yes, that for sure. There would be only 10k CryptoPunks if they did that.
Yeah.
But then they wouldn't have reversed the transactions, right? They would have just made a new wrapper for the
Yes. Yeah.
point on.
Yeah, they couldn't reverse that. Yeah, no, if I accidentally give my bug to DJ, I have to rely on his goodwill to give it back. And
Pretty sure a lot of people did that back then because the price was low, right?
Yes, but of course there will be some people that say, "Fuck yeah, it's not worth anything anyhow," because in that time it was just a few dollars. Huh?
I was looking at because I'm going through a bit of an issue with someone at the moment, and I've been looking at these transactions and looking at my old wallet, and I noticed that at one point I had 3 beanies, but there was a zombie that I sold, I think, for 1 ether, so I made like $1,000, and at the time I thought that was amazing, and now I think like it's quite heartbreaking, but it's funny. It's a story. Yeah, so I keep getting these flashbacks of it all.
Yeah, we've all done that.
Yeah.
What's the floor price on a zombie right now?
So that's 3 million, was it?
It's crazy.
Something like that.
Right. Before we get into
The sad part of
that was good. We did a good round of video. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, everybody else.
Thank you very much.
We'll just leave it on YouTube.
Yes.
Whoever's interested enough to watch it, they can watch it. We did it in English, the global language, right? So thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys got some information from everybody here. All right. See you guys later.
yeah.